The next strategy I think is very helpful for struggling readers, particularly when we think about the vocabulary. Martha mentioned that there is higher level academic vocabulary throughout this textbook, and that is where students can get really stuck not knowing what that word is. So one strategy that I find successful for students is imaging and sort of making a map of a particular section. And so for this strategy, you would take a selection of text, and students either find the repeated words, or maybe in a textbook situation it's those bolded words that show up. They just do a skim read, and you make a list of those important words from the text. This is where the teacher does come in handy in sort of helping the students, particularly at first, make that list of words. That's really important for this piece of text. Then you leave that list of words there. You may write the words on cards, and I'll show you an example of this in a little bit, but you have a list of kind of the key words. Then you go back and have the students read the text closely. Again, partners, whole class, small groups, you may read it aloud, then you may have them read it with partners. Because it's short selections, again, having them do a repeated reading, especially if there's dense information there, could be really helpful for them. Then this is the part where the vocabulary and that acquisition of language starts to come in. I have students go, and for each of those words that we identified as the key words, they have to make a very quick little picture that represents that word. For instance, I will show you in the next sample, they'll make just a very quick visual image for the words, and then they put those images together in a map that makes sense to them. So for instance, let's take a look, and we'll start with this one. I have Political Reforms, Power to the People sample from the textbook. You notice that there's a title, there's a caption, there are several words that are bolded here. So if I asked you to go ahead and we're not reading yet, we're just actually going ahead and calling out some of these words. What are some of those words that you see on this page just at a quick glance?
Repeal.
Repeal.
Bribe. Suffrage.
Bribe. Suffrage. Referendum. Elections. Initiative. So those are some of the words that you would pull out and make a list of. And I made a sample here. And then you would have the students go back and read. Now these are these words in particular, I would probably, give them the definitions, talk about them, and then have them go in and read the text or read the text with them. It depends on where the students are and where you think they can understand this. But then have them go back and read the text. Give them that moment to go back and read the text again. And then I made a quick list of words. I didn't get all of them that we identified, but these were the ones that I just pulled out at a quick glance. And what I did then was I made pictures here that you can see here on the screen. I'm going to try to use the laser pointer, see if this will work. You can see here on the screen. And in general, we would not use any words for mapping out what this section of text actually taught us. I had a little trouble sort of sometimes kind of understanding. I thought, well, maybe I should use some words. But in general, you would encourage your students not to use words in this. They would just use connections. And so you can see I have the people wanted more power. And so when they found that they have the right to vote, they wanted to be more specific, and they passed laws for primary elections. I'm not saying the words quite properly here, but this is the electing a senator directly. They now have the right to, this is the initiative. They can say yes or no to an initiative, even if the legislature doesn't want it. And this is the referendum. They can recall something. So these are the pictures that I sort of put together to go with the words over here. And by my map, I started to put together and comprehend what that section was telling me. And this is the memory that I then get in my head. And students, theirs will not look like this. Their map will look different. It might be a circle, it might be a star, it might be a linear line, depending on how they think the concepts come together and what links they can see between the concepts. So this to me is a very powerful way for students who struggle to read to start to access and visualize what these words mean and their relationship to each other. And as you can see, I just used index cards and moved it around on a paper, students can, easily make that themselves on index cards at their desks and work with a partner and come up with a map at their desk. And so that's a way to do that.